Hello fellow vault dwellers, welcome to a Fallout 76 guide all about FLUX, where it's found, and what kind of things you can craft with it. Now that you know what to expect, let's go get irradiated. FLUX is a rare crafting material that comes in 5 variants: Cobalt, Violet, Yellowcake, Crimson, and Fluorescent. These are gathered in their raw form from the mutated flora around a freshly nuked blast zone. Now keep in mind, raw flux has an expiration and will appear in the aid tab until it's stabilized at a chemistry station, at which point it will be located in the junk section. The junk item known as stable flux and its component version, pure flux, consider these to be the same thing, can be used for many high-level recipes and blueprints. Notably, pure flux is used in some of the most powerful linings for your vault jumpsuit or Under Armour, provided you have the plans for them, of course. Stable flux can be created at a chemistry station by combining the right raw materials mainly found in a blast zone, but we'll get to that part a little bit later. When in a blast zone, whatever you gather from plants should now be flux of a particular type. Even though it's something completely transformed, it's still flora and will give double yield with the green thumb perk. So get that ASAP if you haven't already. Another perk worth considering would be Good with Salt, which preserves freshly gathered aid items longer. You wouldn't want to seek out a chemistry station only to find your gathered Cobalt flux went inert 10 minutes ago. If you know what type of flux you're looking for, the White Spring Bunker contains a nice write-up of what plants turn into what kind of flux here. Silt bean and glowing resin when gathered will give cobalt flux. Mutated ferns and Caedo plants will now provide violet. Glowing fungus will give fluorescent flux. Brain fungus grants crimson flux. Blackberries and soot flowers give yellowcake flux, and so on. Again, these write-ups can be found in the White Spring Bunker once you've gained access. All this preparation and we have yet to go over finding a blast zone. You can either stick to the server you're on hoping someone will fire from one of the silos, or maybe join a community on social media or Discord where people can let you know if there's been a nuke dropped on their server. Little segue to join my Discord if you want, down in the description. There's of course the third option of dropping a nuke yourself, but that's a whole separate quest and process, and that might be even a separate video. If a nuke has been dropped on your server, however, it'll be a big ol' hard to miss red circle on the map. As expected, the area will be highly irradiated, and you'll need proper resistance before stepping into the blast zone. This can be achieved multiple ways, either using chems like Rad-X and Rad Shield, which do stack, Rad Sponge and radiation resistant perks, Power Armor, or Hazmat Suit. No matter what, you'll be taking on radiation from both enemies and the environment, so bring a lot of Radaway with you too. As a result of this burst of radiation, dangerous and deadly high-level glowing enemies will now inhabit the area that got nuked. Killing and looting these glowing foes here will reward a good deal of experience, gear, and some new materials as well, including hardened mass, glowing mass, and high radiation fluids. You'll need all 3 of these and 10 raw flux to make 1 stable flux. High radiation fluids and glowing masses are both located in the aid category, but hardened mass in particular is a junk item, so be absolutely sure that you don't scrap them by accident. In fact, if you have a good bit of hardened masses, I'd advise heading to a stash before you head to a workbench, and dropping all the hardened masses into the stash so you can guarantee that you won't scrap them. When you have your high rad fluids, masses, and 10 or more of one kind of flux, that is the time to head over to a chemistry station and stabilize it. Sadly, the chemist perk does not affect stable flux crafting. However, the super duper perk applies to nearly everything crafted, flux included. So if you have this perk, you would best have it equipped if you want a chance of extra pure flux for free. Now that you know how to gather flux and how to stabilize it, you should soon be in possession of some high-level upgrading materials. Pure flux, as mentioned at the start, can be used for linings and Under Armour, but also for prime receivers, ultrasight ammo, decontamination arches, and likely much more. Some raw flux can even be used to craft some items like the orbital strike grenades. Now that you know where to find flux, how to stabilize it, how to prepare yourself, and what kinds of things you can make with it, I do believe you're ready to go find some yourself. Please do share in the comments what kind of items or gear you've crafted and modified with your pure flux. Not just because I'm personally curious, but because it'll help out the community as well, and that's what we do here. We help each other out. That's all for this guide. If you found it useful, entertaining, or both, do whatever it is you see fit to show that, and please consider supporting the channel on Patreon. If you want more guides on Fallout 76 like this one, you know what to do. This is Caedo Genesis, thank you so much for watching, and I bid you a happy Reclamation Day.